Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Coding Break. Yes, I have been taking my coding breaks and I take them religiously, especially when it comes to this podcast. So welcome back. And so I want to go right into our topic of this episode, which is strategies for preparing or taking the certification exam. Again, that's the coding certification exam. So I accidentally, not intentionally, overlooked a question or a recommendation from a subscriber or viewer asking or requesting my strategies or tips on sitting for the certification exam or preparation for the certification exam. So let's get to it. So first things first, it's been many years since I have taken the certification exam. And of course, if you're currently preparing to sit for the exam or thinking about it, or you're in the coding industry in some shape or form, things have changed since the many years ago. Whereas when I sat for the exam, it was face to face. Our time limits were shorter than they are now. And, of course, we take our books. That hasn't changed. But today, you can either do it face to face or you can do it virtual. So, I guess that would present some type of anxiety, especially for those who already experiencing test anxiety, because you have a proctor that is pretty much on camera or in your face. I don't know. I haven't actually sat in a virtual testing environment as relates to being a proctor, but I have proctored face-to-face exams. So the strategies that I'm about to share are the strategies that help me. And these are the strategies that I recommend to my coaching clients, my students, as they prepare to sit for the certification exam. So the first thing first, relax. I highly recommend, especially the day before, the night before, to do something totally opposite of studying, totally opposite of coding, so that you can allow your body and your mind to relax prior to taking the exam. Because I feel that once you're at this particular juncture of the exam or preparation of exam, there's nothing more that you can do except for to relax and just be mentally prepared for the examination. So that's the first thing that I would recommend. The second thing that I would recommend is, what is that second thing? Honestly, rest. Yes, rest. You want to make sure you get the adequate amount of rest, and that will vary depending on the individual. Some may say get 8 to 10 hours. Some may say 5 to 6. I'm not giving any specific numbers, whatever that is for you. I know people who can operate fine on like 4 hours of sleep. I know some who needs like at least 10 to 12 hours of sleep. So that's going to be based upon your individual sleep pattern. So the next thing that I would recommend, as far as like preparing for your books, you want to make sure you understand your books. And I may end up doing an actual visual YouTube video where you can see me as I talk about how to organize your coding material, especially your books, when it comes to your exam. There are some techniques that I shared that were shared with me, but they were shared with me hindsight after I took the exam and passed the exam. A former colleague had shared with me about the organization and the layout of the books. And I was like, had I known that when I sat for the exam, it would have done wonders for me. And so what I do now when I coach clients is, again, especially those who are preparing to sit for the exam, I share those techniques and strategies with them to kind of help ease their anxiety and introduce them to the lay of the land as it relates to the books. And again, I will drop a YouTube video where you can actually see how how I organize my book or my coding material in preparation for the exam. So that's definitely a very good practical tip. And I think once you understand the lay of the book and you have your material organized, that would take, like, I would say at least 50% of the anxiety that you may be experiencing prior to the exam off of you because you know how the book is set up. And then there's some other tips and strategies that I will share in a video. Now that I'm sitting here recording, I'm realizing, I definitely need to drop a visual video so that you can see the practical tips, again, as it relates specifically to the coding material and the organization of the coding material. But as far as like just general tips and strategies, I think this is good for the podcast. Just relaxing and getting the proper rest. And as far as nutrition, again, it's going to be based on the individual. If you're a healthy eater, continue to, or if you love junk food, get some comfort food, period. Grab you some comfort food. Get anything that's going to bring you some comfort, not like the alcohol, the drugs, or anything like that. Something that's going to bring you comfort or relaxation and, or I would say a sense of distraction for you prior to, I would say at least 24 hours prior to the examination. And the reason why I recommend these are the things that worked for me. I was like many of you, I was sitting like maybe earlier during the day prior to like trying to cram. And it's like, you know what? If I don't know it now, I'm not going to know it by tomorrow morning. And so I decided to close my book and I went on about my day. And so I recommend that to you. If you don't know it the night before the exam, you probably won't know it the morning of the exam. So I recommend just go ahead and relax and again, move on about your day, about your evening. Do something fun that brings you joy. Again, something that's going to be some sort of distraction away from coding, away from test preparation, and things of that nature. So those are the general tips that I want to share with you that have worked for me and they work for others. And then again, I will be dropping a video showing you how to organize your coding material in preparation for the exam. So so be on the lookout for that. And I think that's it. So we're at maybe 5 minutes. So that's my coding break. So on that note, I'm going to head out. So until next time, code on.